Hello, and welcome back to what I believe is the ending of Virtue's Last Reward, and all of our time travel, and all of our timeline theories, and all of our jumping back and forth in between space and time, and consciousness, and everything else in between. Let's go back and experience what happens in the 45 years leading up, or the 6 days, depending on whether the story wants to go one way or another, who knows. Or even, like, after everything's been fixed. Who knows? At point E, was it? Hell, it doesn't matter. Let's go. April 13th, 2029, at headquarters. April 13th. April 13th was which one? Let's jump real quick. This is the mass panic of
Today
Radical
is April
6.
13th, 2029, and this is the evening news. Unfortunately, I'm sorry. I don't have any news to read. All of our station's reporters have passed after contracting Radical 6. So have excuse me. I've managed to keep us on the air until now. But I'm out of tricks. It's time for me to sign off. This concludes our broadcast day. I pray that someday, our world can be cleansed of this horrible plague. Goodbye.
I had a feeling. For a moment, I just stared at the TV. The roar of the static seemed to fill the entire room until, with a click, it disappeared too. Had the power gone out? Who's approaching me? I heard footsteps behind me and turned around. This is Zero. This is the garb that, Light and or Snake wore, but this is what, who knows. You. This is what Akane set up for everyone to wear. Or Snake to wear in the first one. This is supposed to be a powerful moment, but her eyes are going two different directions. Akane?
It looks like the first step was successful.
What the fuck? You killed me!
Killed?
I guess technically you're going to kill me 45 years from now, but still!
Hey, no need to be rude about it. I didn't kill you. I hit you with the butt of the knife. You're fine.
The butt of the knife? I guess there was a dull pain. It's not like there was a knife there. I'm okay.
Yes, you and Phi needed to experience a state of crisis. That was the only way.
Me and Phi?
Yes, I only told you about you, but we also needed Phi to jump. Now, you know what happens next, right?
We go to the moon?
Correct. We will be leaving tomorrow, April 14th, 2029. We've nearly finished preparing your shuttle. Only a few last-minute checks and additions. You'll be traveling to Rhizome 9, along with 3 treatment pods.
Alice and Clover, right?
Yes,
What about the third one? Who's in there?
Phi.
Okay, so Phi and I actually... Did she ever say when she was taken? Okay, so there is a timeline where I get to have sex with her and it's actually appropriate.
We put her into cold sleep 2 days ago. She appeared at our headquarters and volunteered to be frozen. That wasn't the Phi who jumped from point C, though.
Point... From point C to point D, April 13th. That's the one that jumps from point A, and that's where the discrepancy comes, and then she's meeting me here?
It was Phi before she jumped from point A to point D. In other words, she was following the same path you are, and she still is.
And that means that after you froze her, the point C version of her jumped back into her body?
Yes. The point C version of Phi is sleeping in that pod. She'll stay there for the next 45 years, sleeping in ice.
Then when she gets to point B, her consciousness will jump to point A, right? Point. Okay. A.
Correct.
Huh. So that's why she didn't look old. So why don't you just stick me in one of those pods?
We can't do that.
Yeah, I actually have to do the work, Sigma. Why not?
You haven't figured it out? You have to spend the next 45 years working on the AB project. After arriving at Rhizome 9, you must master genetic engineering and artificial intelligence programming, among other disciplines.
So it wouldn't, because I have to go through all of that mental math and actually develop it, and then once we get up to a certain point, then I go back to point A, and then live those 6 days before point B to stop it from happening. To stop point E from happening, but the focal point, the big red one where we create the new timeline, I technically shouldn't have sex with Phi because she's still 20-something, and then I would be 67 in my head and in a 22-year-old's body, or however old I am, whatever. So that's a weird thing.
Otherwise, you will be unable to create Kyle, Luna, and Lagomorph.
Oof.
And, of course, you will need to develop the chromatic doors and the bracelets. You will also be the person who summons Tenmyoji and Quark. Once you've completed all the preparations, then the project can actually begin. January 25th, 2074. You will defrost Phi and carry her to the third AB room. Once you've done that, the 22-year-old version of you from point A will force you out. And you'll just go back 45 years to your own body on December 25th, 2028.
Here. And then I change history? You really think I can keep the virus from getting out?
You have to. If you don't, billions of people will die.
I mean, that's kind of what the whole experiment that we're going to hold, and what future us held that is no longer currently doing it. Whatever.
Only you and Phi can save them.
What about you? Aren't you an Esper too?
I can't do anything on my own. If this is going to work, I'll need your help.
So, what do I need to do?
What do you mean?
Like, what specific actions do I need to take? When Phi and I jump to point A, what are we going to do then?
You'll both enter the Mars mission test site.
Okay. I was wondering if we were going to be a part of that, or if we would somehow go to the facility that's, like, overseeing it, or if we would, like, somehow crash the site and be like, no, stop whatever you're doing, or whatever. And after that?
I don't know.
What?
I'm sorry. I really don't know anything about what happens in there. We don't know how the Radical Six escaped. We don't even know why it was there in the first place.
Oh, crap. Then we're screwed.
That's why we need your help. You have the ability to jump through time and across parallel worlds. We need you to figure out what happened in that test facility. Things will be difficult, and I'm sure you will find yourself in a great deal of danger. but I believe the two of you can overcome any obstacle.
Wait. How do you know it's so dangerous?
The 67-year-old version of you told me what happened.
Yeah?
He wasn't able to stop the virus.
Well, that fucking sucks.
So I suppose you could say you told me after you failed.
What did he... or what did I say?
That the test facility is full of traps.
Traps. You mean, like, puzzle rooms?
There was one point. A woman's life was in danger. You risked yourself for her sake, and lost your arms and your right eye.
I'm sorry, hold on. Un momento, por favor. Where's that roadmap? Where am I? Where could that possibly be? Calendar, PEC, staff nutritional, darts, billiards, frequency, bartender, colorful note. Nope, not this one. Oh, fuck you. Where is this one? Frequency, darts. Not that one. Memory card, hydroponics, step for dissection. Researcher's journal. Illustration, mystery schematic. Here we are. Okay, so if we're looking at this, and I progress, this is where this shit gets wild. Old me jumped back to A after jumping to B before, as the game starts, the game progresses, the game is near the end, and we jump back to D, which is what I'm experiencing right now, and Akane is telling me right now. 45 years passes, where I will then jump, or technically, I don't know which is causing which to jump first, but I swap bodies with my younger self, and then we go to the Nevada test site, which is here, and that's where I get attacked, and then shit gets wild in the rest of the world, and that goes on. But then I have to figure out how successful this is, right at E. Okay. At least I think so. So then, how did I lose... Wait a second. If I lost my arms and my eye in this timeline right here, how did I lose my arm and eye here? My arms and eye here. For this to keep going to C, but this timeline just keeps going no matter what. And it doesn't actually circle back. What happens then? My arms and my right eye? Was it my left before? Oh. Okay. Well, that's something. So I jumped... Hold on, I'm taking a look at this again. So I jumped to here. Why am I here? Or here, technically, like... No, that's where I'm supposed to be. Yeah. Yeah, so the point that my old self got shifted is back up at C, and he's going to continue on, where now I experience this, and then 45 years will pass, and because that happened to cause this connection, I now will get this, but then my other self already had that. I don't fucking care anymore. What the hell? Suddenly a low rumble shook the building. This entire thing is the rocket ship. What was that?
Go have a look.
Out the window. I moved slowly to the window and peered outside. Oh, that's when this... Okay. On the horizon, I could see a massive mushroom cloud climbing slowly toward the sky. I forgot that's when this is happening. The nukes go off here. This is when it initially gets released. Radical 6, and then however many days pass in between here. The nukes go off here. Yeah. So I am right here, right at this cusp. Not traveling along this line. I am right here. This is going off right now. So that's how this initially goes off with the rocket ship. And then I might develop more stuff to be sent back down to get everybody up. So I'm gonna have to go through 45 years here soon. Mushroom cloud climbing slowly toward the sky. Would we really be able to change the course of history? No. That was the wrong way to look at it. It couldn't be a question. I had to change history. We could save the world. I'm going to change history. I stared at the darkening skies above us and steeled myself. I would succeed. End or beginning? Fire and Ice. So... Fire and Ice, End or beginning. I have to go through the 45 years. What? That's the Akane ending. Okay. What do I do? Should I go through this, or should I jump all the way here now that I see this? Because where I technically go to next is I spend 45 years developing it, and then after 45 years, I get booted out of there to go back to point A to stop point E. Infirmary another time. God. I don't know if I'm doing the right thing right now or not. I think I am, but I want to jump to this timeline. Oh, this infirmary.
Where?
Oh, okay. So we're here. So, I went back in time. I should have spent 45 years, though, right? Is this what 45 years is like in the future?
I see you've finally woken up, Kyle.
Kyle!
Ah, yes. Of course. You've only just woken up in this timeline. It's only natural for some of your memories to be missing.
I lurched upright, jumped off the bed, and ran around to the other side of the partition. The mirror over the sink was covered with a film of dirt. I wiped it off with my sleeve, and my reflection stared back at me. There was no mistake. The reflection belonged to...
Kyle Climb. So, I'm Dr. Climb? Zero Senior's clone?
Okay.
What? How do you know that? Shouldn't you still be suffering from amnesia?
Did Sigma... Oh, excuse me. Did Sigma jump to the wrong person in the future? Or did, where the accident occurs, because technically... Maybe I did die? Who knows? Maybe I did just get a bump on the chest? Maybe the one that went back in the past that actually was a 22-year-old that needed to replace the 63-year-old that was going back to the future, and the 63 is now here? Okay. An excellent question. One I didn't quite know the answer to myself. I knew who Kyle Climb was. In another history, he had been called K and worn a suit of armor. He hadn't just worn the armor in that history, though. Apparently he'd worn it all his life. Kyle had been born and raised in this lunar installation, which seemed to be called Rhizome 9. Rather late in his life, Akane had appeared as a mother figure and had consequently grown very attached to her. I knew everything about him. But even though I knew it, I didn't feel it. Was I really Kyle Climb? Every time I looked in the mirror, I saw his face. The spitting image of Sigma Climb in his younger days. I looked down. There was Dio, still handcuffed. I turned back around to Luna.
What day is today?
January 27th, 2074.
27th? I don't remember the dates. Fuck.
Today is the last day of the AB project.
The last day, okay.
Akane has explained everything in the garden. And she drew a knife and attacked Phi. How long have I been asleep?
About 5 hours in real time. For them, it would have seemed like a little more than 2 hours.
So they still haven't been treated for their Radical 6?
No, they've all been given the antiviral. It just takes a while to have an effect.
I see. So the consciousness of the younger Sigma has gone back into the past.
Yes, and now he's experiencing that with Akane, who just sent us up to the moon, and he's developing the procedures for this to happen, because he is then going to be booted back in time to stop E, and, hold on. This is gonna be easier with this. Fuck. Where'd it go? Mystery schematic. And now I... Wait, actually, yeah. Now that I think about it, how did Sigma lose his arms? And because the path should be still continuing here, like there should be another point B that goes up, because I wouldn't have had the experience to lose my arm and my arms and eye in that. But it doesn't... I never should have... Well, I guess this is following the roots of consciousness and not actually the body per se. Yeah. Yeah, so like there is technically a connection here that should continue going, like the body, but this is the consciousness line. Yeah. Okay. 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 I'm back in line now. Quite literally.
It should have happened right after Akane attacked Phi, right?
Yes,
Why am I here?
the doctor carried you back here.
The doctor did?
You were in the pod in the garden.
Okay.
So the person you call the doctor is Sigma Klein, as inhabited by his age-appropriate consciousness.
Yes, but how do you know that?
Dio seems to have remained unconscious.
Yes.
So there's two realities that are going on right now. If the age-appropriate Dr. Klein is now in that body, and I'm experiencing this as Kyle? Then why does Kyle know all this? If it is a clone, I guess it would make sense. Because would it have the memories? I don't know.
I've been administering Soparil whenever he gets restless.
What about the others?
They've all gone off to different areas. Tenmyoji and Quark, for instance.
Oh, right. Mr. Klein.
So the sleepyhead's finally up, huh?
What are you two doing here?
You don't know where we are?
This is the upper floor of the pressure exchange chamber. The real one.
Mm-hmm.
We were just about to get dressed and head out.
You plan to return them? To Earth, I mean.
Yeah.
Sigma told us where we could find the shuttle that brought us here. Well, guess he's not really the Sigma I knew anymore. He's Dr. Klein now, or Zero Senior, depending on how you look at it.
Why?
What do you mean, why?
Well, I'm just curious why you would choose to return to a devastated planet when you could stay here.
Yeah, I mean, isn't your love here?
How's staying here gonna help? You aren't gonna say something idiotic about how we should wait here until Sigma changes the past, are you?
No, because this would just cease to exist. This has to exist on its own.
You can't wait for something that's already happened.
Right there! This entire thing just unravels here! Yes, this exactly! So all this bullshit about Schrodinger's cat just doesn't do that! The past is it's not influenced by the future. The future is impacted by the past. What bullshit are you talking about?
Grammar doesn't work that way. Hell, nature doesn't work that way. You following me?
Yes.
We've already lived through history. Sigma failed to keep the virus from getting out. About 45 years ago, Radical 6 created a pandemic, and the antimatter reactors blew up. That all happened. Whatever Sigma does in the past, history's not gonna change. In fact, it's because of what he did, or didn't do in the past, that we've got this past and present. Let me give you an example. Imagine a group of 100 motorcycles driving down an endless freeway.
I'm tired of these fucking examples.
Eventually, they hit a junction. The road splits in two. One freeway continues off northwest, and the other stretches out to the northeast. So one guy, we'll call him S, pipes up. "Let's go northwest," he says. So they take the northwestern road. But about a mile past the intersection, something horrible happens. A semi driving the other way veers into their lane and plows through the bikers. 90 of them die. The surviving 10 are wounded, but survive. They don't stop, though. They keep riding down that highway, and eventually they'd gone 10,000 miles. Then suddenly, something happens that they couldn't have predicted. S, who had survived, suddenly has his consciousness thrown back in time. He ends up back in his own body just before they reach the junction. He remembers everything. So what does S do? What anybody would do. Let's go
right.
northeast. That means all 100 of the bikers survive to reach their destination, happy and healthy. And they all live happily ever after. That's what you're thinking, right? It's a great outcome for the 100 bikers that went northeast. But what about the 10 that went northwest and survived the accident?
Huh? Wouldn't it be 9 people? I mean, S's mind went back in time, right?
But technically that body stays. The mind is what moved.
Right. Okay, 9 people then. What happens to the reality they were living? Does it just disappear when S changes the past?
This whole thing has been done before, quite literally, by Dragon Ball Z! It's not unheard of. I don't know why this is being so profound about this. Hey, sorry to interrupt the episode abruptly and randomly. After combing through this, I wanted to make sure that my point was clear, because even to me it seemed stupid. What I say here was not my full, complete thought. What I meant to say was, this idea of time travel isn't new, and it's been used before, even to the point where something as muscle head and ape brain like Dragon Ball Z had the exact same plot line. So, with that out of the way, just wanted to make everything clear. Also, I'm dumb.
It's not as if it was only bad things that happened during that 10,000-mile trip. Maybe one of them fell in love with a woman working at a gas station they stopped at and had a child. Maybe one of them picked up a homeless kid who joined them on their adventure. That 10,000-mile journey would be full of stories, friendships, farewells, romances. The loss of those 90 lives is horrible and unfortunate. But what would rewriting their history mean? The 9 who survived lived full lives. How can it be right to just erase all that? The survivors overcame their own misery and loss and made the best they could of the hand they'd been dealt. Isn't that worth something? Isn't that the best thing that humans can aspire to? Is there really any point to a world where everything is happy? Are people who struggle for a better life just idiots? Being human is about fighting, even when it seems hopeless, and finding happiness even in a world that hates it. Are you saying that's worthless? If you're saying rewriting the past will erase all these other timelines, then whatever God wrote those rules can Look, I'm just not going to accept that, all right? You get it?
If Sigma changes the past, then you and Quark will never meet.
Is he right?
No, it's not going to happen.
You two will always be together, where there is another reality that Ten Myoji, or Junpei, probably has a future with, excuse me, probably has a future of multiple kids with Akane. Who knows?
We're here right now. This is reality. Even if Sigma does change the past, we're not just gonna disappear or something.
Oh! Then that means we get to stay together? Good.
Thanks, kid.
I understand how you feel. Why you want to return to Earth is clear. You have lives there, I imagine. There are likely people waiting for you.
Right.
Uh-huh.
Have you already said goodbye to the others?
Bye, Luna, Alice, and Clover all saw us off. We told them we'd see him again someday, and then came here.
Okay, so are you gonna bring Akane with you and raise Quark together? Or has Akane fallen for my dad, I guess? And if so, how does that make you feel, Junpei?
They were the only people you want to say goodbye to?
Well, no point saying anything to Dio.
Besides, he's asleep. You were asleep too.
Sorry, but we didn't really know much about you.
You have a point. Akane was in the armor in this timeline, after all. What about Sigma?
Well, he's not really Mr. Sigma anymore.
Of course.
But isn't he? Because he technically had to experience this as well. Well, no, not this engagement, but all the shit that Sigma went through, and to later become Mr. Climb, as you, Dr. Climb, whatever. He did have this engagement with you at some point, technically.
He is Dr. Climb now that his consciousness has returned.
Yeah, but more importantly, he's the guy who brought us all here. Not a lot of warm feelings there, you know?
And Akane?
Never mind her.
Whew.
She's just like him. Not the Akane I knew.
Okay. Damn, I thought love was gonna be really blind. Honestly, I respect Junpei, because I hated the ham-fisted romance of the first one.
She must have seen some pretty awful things over the years. Hell, she might not even be human anymore.
Over the years, she escaped to the fucking moon. You lived through all that. What are you talking about? You were a lot more braver than she is. All she did was just run away from the problem.
But the Akane Kurashiki I know isn't here. She's not anywhere.
In the end, Clover and I were just pawns. Pawns to be used and then gotten rid of.
I feel so bad for Clover.
Still, it's not like we're completely resentful. We had to be here to help change the past. That part's easy to understand. But
Kinda sucks, though.
Right.
I mean, Sigma and Phi have it easy. They get to go back to December 25th in 2028.
Here.
They'll stop the Radical Six and save the world, and then they'll have a nice, normal future to look forward to.
Probably together, hopefully.
In other words, they get to go back to Point E and just enjoy history like it was supposed to happen.
But we don't. We're stuck with Point C as our starting point.
You told us about Tenmyoji's story, right? The one with the motorcycles? It would be like if Alice and I were kidnapped right before the intersection. Then whoever grabbed us takes us to wherever the bikers are going, 10,000 miles to the northwest.
Don't get us wrong. We know why we had to be here. Without us, S's consciousness wouldn't have been able to go back to right before the intersection.
If that couldn't happen, then the fate of those 90 dead bikers would be sealed. But
It's still not the best situation for those of us left in the Northwest.
Right. So, I mean, I guess Akane was technically wearing the Zero garb, but she didn't have the gas mask on, did she? Who knows? I mean, hold on. Question mark. Mystery schematic. If I technically go back to this point, what's the point of gassing me? If I'm just gonna go here to try and stop it, which I fail, and now I'm back up here. What's the point in gassing me? Wouldn't my mind just shift? Okay, that's weird.
We're stuck in the reality where the 90 bikers died.
are we just supposed to go live on Earth? It's a wasteland now. And what about our friends and families?
They're dead.
We left a whole world behind 45 years ago.
And they're probably dead because they committed suicide.
Even if it is for the greater good?
It just doesn't seem fair, does it?
Yeah, it's a little bit much.
So we went and talked to the old lady.
She told us that there is one way.
Wait, old lady? That's your friend! Well, no, not really friend. Yeah, she did put you through the first one. Yeah.
One way we could get back to the past.
Let's say you do go back to the past. Wouldn't that cause your minds to get thrown back here? That seemed to be how Sigma and Phi's jumps worked, at least.
Yes, you're right.
But this is different.
Different. How so?
From what she said, it sounds like there's a way we can send our bodies back in time, too.
What? Bodies?
That's ridiculous. It would create a paradox.
I'm gonna lose my fucking mind.
How could you have two Clovers and two Alices at the same time?
But that wouldn't happen.
Akane says there's a way around that.
How on earth does she plan to do that?
Schrodinger's
Cat. Oh, hey, Kyle.
So no, you're just falling on nothing. Okay, cool. Yeah, so you don't actually explain anything. You're just like, oh, it's open-ended. Fuck off. That's so dumb. That is so fucking dumb. This is getting on my last nerve now. I was so happy.
Figured you'd come here eventually.
Where's Dr. Klein? Luna said you were with him.
He said he was tired, so he's off resting right now. There's a bedroom at the end of the hallway. He's in there if you're curious. Oh, right. He told me to turn on this hologram projector thing when you showed up. Want me to start it?
Sure.
Sure.
Is it a different
Glad
one?
to see you.
Is it the same one or is it a different one?
There isn't anything in particular that I have to tell you. However, I imagine there are a great number of things weighing on your mind. I'd love to answer all your questions, but unfortunately, my circumstances make that an impossibility. I hope you can forgive me. Everything I know, Phi should also know. I have instructed her to answer any questions anyone might have. Anyone other than Kyle, that is.
Okay, so this is different.
What does he mean, other than Kyle?
Who knows? Is there anything you want to ask?
Right, well, I guess I may as well cut to the chase. Just who are you, Phi?
I'm not Superman, that's for sure. And I'm not Batman or Spider-Man or Aquaman or a merman or a wolfman. I'm not a Brahmin or common or ramen. I'm not a Cayman either, so you really don't need to worry about anything.
Please don't dodge the question.
Hmm.
About 5 hours ago, Akane attacked you with a knife. That triggered something which sent your mind back to the past, correct?
Right.
Specifically, you were sent to Point D, April 13th, 2029.
And you're cryogenically frozen for 45 years. Yep.
On that date, your body was already in Akane's custody.
Which I was kind of struggling to remember, like, how, like, Phi was sent back to that point exactly, and like, how was she obtained? I guess she was also gassed at that point. Yeah, custody.
Although by then you were in cold sleep.
Yeah.
You wouldn't have regained consciousness, but your mind was now inhabiting that body. That pod was your home for 45 years. You slept there, frozen, until the time was right. Then on January 25th, 2074, you were finally thawed out, even though you didn't wake up. Still unconscious, you were carried to the AV room. That was when your consciousness changed bodies again. A version of you from December 25th, 2028 arrived, pushing you out and sending you back to December 25th, 2028. This is when you finally woke up. In 2028, you found and joined forces with Sigma, whose older mind was inhabiting his younger body. Together, you attempted to infiltrate the Mars mission test facility. Fortunately, your plan failed. The Radical Six did escape on New Year's Eve. That
Moving to D.
failure determined the path you followed.
Here we are. Yeah, sorry, I was following along with the text. I kind of forgot that I should demonstrate where it went. So, yeah, they went through the 45 years and then went back here, and then they failed, so they're back here.
Instead of going along the line that branches out to the right from Point E, you headed straight to Point D. Point D being April 13th of the following year.
Where the nukes go
That
off.
was the day that you made your way to Akane's hideout and asked to be put into one of the treatment pods.
Gotcha. Okay, so that's... So when I get sent to Point D to spend those 45 years, 45 cryogenically frozen Phi had already gone back to Point A to up to D. I think I had missed that in the text, and I think I was lost on that, but now that makes a little bit more sense. All right. Okay.
Another consciousness enters your body around that time from the future. It is, of course, the version of you that left your body when Akane attacked you in the garden. This caused the two versions of you to swap places.
Yep.
And you moved 45 years into the future, where you woke up on the garden floor.
Right here.
That put you on the line that comes here. So if we discount the time you spent in cold sleep, for you, only 3.5 months have passed since that happened. That being when you were sent back into the past from the garden. Have I missed anything?
No, everything you talked about you got right.
Well, what do you mean by that?
I'm kind of an unknown variable in this equation. You could think of me as a kind of X factor.
It's taken me the last 3.5 months to understand it.
I haven't understood anything in the last 3.5 seconds. Could you please explain?
It's kind of like the relationship between classical mechanics and modern physics. Strictly speaking, you can't combine velocities with v1 plus v2. v1 plus v2 divided by 1 plus v1 times v2 over c squared is the actual equation. Of course, the sort of velocities we encounter in day-to-day life don't come close to being c squared, which is the speed of light squared. That means that 1 plus v1 times v2 divided by c squared is usually going to evaluate to something pretty close to 1. Since that would mean dividing by 1, it's usually okay to just skip that step and use v1 plus v2.
Yep. Alright.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
In most situations, it works, even if it isn't technically correct.
Right.
So you knew enough to get the stuff you were talking about right. As long as you stick to that, you won't run into any problems.
I don't quite understand. In fact, I feel like you're dodging my questions.
So was that what you wanted to ask about?
No. What I really want to know is what happened between Christmas and New Year's Eve in 2028.
Yeah, here. How much sex did we have? But by that point, it would have been a 45-year past of both versions. I guess, maybe. But, who knows?
You and Sigma infiltrated the Mars mission test site, didn't you?
Yes.
What happened there? How did Sigma lose his eye and both his arms?
Well, technically, no, hold on. What I just said is actually really bad, because it's 45 years of Sigma passing and 45 years of her being frozen, so it's still 45, and no, okay, I retract that statement. Whoopsies.
And why was Radical 6 in there in the first place? What could a deadly virus have to do with the simulated mission to space?
Sorry, but I can't tell you that.
Why not? Because that could actually... actually, no, it's not like... Since we're already back at point C up here, it's not like that'll help or change anything.
Why?
Because it would change history. There is a history where the virus didn't escape. That's the line that goes to the right of point E.
Yes.
In that timeline, humanity isn't heading for annihilation.
Right.
And Earth isn't red. The future is much brighter. But if I tell you what you're asking me right now, then that reality will disappear. You understand?
I don't. Why would all of that disappear if you told me what I want to know?
You're about to go back to the past, right?
The past? Don't be silly. I can't do that.
Then where the hell did you learn all this stuff? I just listened to you tell me a bunch of things you shouldn't have known about. You were sleeping in the pod in the garden. You just woke up. So how can you know all this? You know my past. Sigma's past.
I shall give you your answer. You are not Kyle Climb.
Right, as I was suspecting.
Your body is Kyle's, but your consciousness is not.
Okay.
Think about it. Do you really believe you are Kyle?
Not really.
Or could you be someone else entirely?
Then, where is the real Kyle's consciousness?
He was thrown out when you entered.
Is he just deleted?
Right now, in a manner of speaking, he has arrived at December 25th, 2028.
Kyle has gone back. Ah, God, I wish that the numbers were here now. December 25th. He went back to here. Why did he go back to here? Why did Kyle go here? If I jump to here, but that's not...
His consciousness has gone into a body from that time. I doubt you know how much the Doctor loves Kyle.
I noticed that my name is now a question mark.
He raised him on his own. Kyle is irreplaceable. Do you really think he would go back to the past and leave Kyle behind here? I know what I told the others, that Kyle was Dr. Klime's spare. But that was not his only purpose. Kyle's consciousness is integral to what we are trying to accomplish.
I had this thought in mind, but I thought it would be stupid because technically Kyle has his own thoughts and an experience. I know I've said this part, thoughts and experiences in and of itself, and his entire life has been in this facility.
This new mission begins on Christmas and ends on New Year's Eve 2028. Its purpose will be to infiltrate the test facility and prevent the spread of the virus.
I guess that makes sense, because if it's not exactly Sigma doing it, then it can't fail. I get in theory, but like why would Kyle be swapped out instead of another Sigma? I don't know.
For this to happen, Kyle is absolutely necessary.
And that is why he created him?
Yes.
So now that my consciousness has entered his body, the doctor has achieved his objective. Kyle has gone back to 2028 to participate in his mission.
So there's 2 of us that are here now? Like, there should have been a branch that stems off of here that went back to A as well? That is now going to... That is actually K going to E, and we'll do that?
Correct.
There's one thing that troubles me. Kyle was created before reaching point B from point D. That means his body did not exist on Christmas in 2028.
Right.
Does that mean he has entered my body? Have we just switched places?
I suppose you could put it that way, yes.
That's ridiculous. Well, what's going to happen to me? You telling me I have to spend the rest of my life here in this box, living in a borrowed body?
No, not at all. You can travel freely through time and space.
This seems like the whole paradox that is, would you like to live forever? And everyone that says that they would like to live until they've experienced everything and then die? Like, this seems like that whole thing of like, but that seems really lonely.
You are an uncontrolled variable that entered our closed system. As such, the rules of this world do not apply to you.
I have no idea what...
Please don't try to play dumb. I know what you are. Surely you must know by now, too. You are about to go into the past and save the world. Phi and Sigma, even with all of his future knowledge, will need your help. Only you can right the horrible wrongs of our past. Only you can save the world.
There's no way I...
Yes, there is. You have to. Don't you want to know the truth? Don't you want to know what happened in between Christmas and New Year's Eve in 2028?
Well, yes, I do, but...
Then you must believe. Reality is shaped by what we believe reality should be. If observation can change the motion of a particle, then how is it odd to think that human thought can shape reality? Your will can change history.
So, I'm the thing that causes the Schrodinger's cat variable of both Clover and Alice? Is that what you're trying to go through?
The world will be reshaped into the one you imagine. Remember what I've told you. Only you can change history. Only you can save the world.
Alternate end. I found it and a certain point of view. I think that's the end. I think I have every trophy in this game. Because, technically 2 games. Alternative end. Okay, so I'm about to go back to point A. Let me save here. And I hit end. And that's the future Akane ending. So if I scroll up, no, there's nothing there. Yeah, this, there should be another block here. What happens if I hit end now? December 25th, 2028. That looks... Oh. Ow. Ow, ow, ow. Damn it. It feels like my head's gonna explode. Wait. And I'm back here. Where the hell... When the hell am I? I'm here. Okay. So, I think that is the end of the game. With that in mind, let me go into the secret archive and now finally look at these last few things. Tenmyoji and Alice. When they were split up at the red, blue, and green chromatic doors, Tenmyoji told Alice that there was something he had to tell her. That something was, of course, his identity, and that he already knew about Alice and Ice 9, and not because he'd heard about it from Clover. So that was that little whisper. Tenmyoji and Clover. After the second round of the AB game, after going through the purple and green doors, Clover, as a solo, was heard to say the following to Tenmyoji, her opponent. What the heck did you mean with all that? It's not fair! If you're telling the truth, then I... So what had Tenmyoji said to her? The same thing he'd meant to say to Alice, of course. He told her who he was. That simple fact shook Clover's resolve and made her vote ally. It probably hadn't been his original intention to betray her, but after thinking about Quark's safety, he probably felt that he had no choice and picked betray. Okay. AB project. A can stand for after, and B, before, but they can also stand for anima, whatever, and body. Everything that happened in this facility was part of the AB project. The mystery of Phi. So, who was Phi? There are a few clues scattered throughout the story, but nothing conclusive. Perhaps the truth will be revealed at the Nevada test site. And deactivation passwords. Here's a little something more about the bomb deactivation passwords. Those passwords? They aren't just gibberish. There's something hidden in each one. I can only give you one hint. +1. Good luck! There's a lot more to the story, but I think we'll stop the secret archives here. Thank you for playing, and we hope you enjoyed the game. +1. Okay. So maybe +1 to every password, like +1 to each letter. So like if the words, okay, so I'm looking at this right now. Bomb 0, or no. Yes. Bomb 1 from 0 is BQZ. What would Z turn into? +1. RGJ X R. C? Here's a little something more about the bomb deactivation passwords. Those passwords, they aren't just gibberish. There's something hidden in each one. I can only give you one hint. +1. C, QR. +1 to Z is A. Maybe. R, QRS, crash. GH, crash. Okay. No. It's not. JK. Crash, DE. Crash key, QR. Crash keys. Okay. Let me go over one. One is crash keys. Okay. No. Why'd I do that? Possibly 0 can fit here. Who knows? 2 and 3. Okay. Where'd those go? Not that one. LXA was 3? No, 0. 2. Back over here. Ugh. God. Can I erase this one? From this page. Yes. Crash keys. Good. Okay. Okay. LXA Q N S G C Q LM my B Q R LMNO S QRST my brother. Okay. This was 3. My brother. This is kind of cool that there's this hidden element here, but I don't know if I typed these in or something. Go over here, erase this. That's that one. Which one was 2? L X Q L H C N M R. L M Y my Q R my L O H G. No. I. That's an I. Wait, hold on. LMNOP QR. Yes. L M. Whoops. Oh, Myrmidons. Yeah. Yeah. Uh-huh. That was 2. Dons. And then what would be 0? The 0 one was... Wait. That was Myrmidons. Shit. LXA. Right? That's... Whoops. No, no, no. No, this one is... No, okay, that was... Ah, shit, my brother was 3. That's why. Mir... Mid... That's an I. Fuck. Okay. Whoops. Mir... Mid... Dons. Let me erase this. I don't feel like rewriting it. 0. And then 3. What would 3 be? Okay. And 3 was which one? This one that he was so smug about, I think. EQD. Whoops. DYR. NTK. Alright, F. QR. DE. Free the soul? Free, Z. Z, QR, S. LMNO. Yeah. Free Z Soul. TUKL. Z. Free Z Soul. Okay, Crash... My brother. Crash Keys. Myrmidon's Free Z Soul. What's up with Z? There's something up with Z. Z. Free the soul of Y, right? So why Z? I don't know. I got a little extra out of it. Okay. In the meantime, oh well. I'm gonna leave this episode and I think this game and its entirety here. Thank you so much for coming out. I think what we're going to experience is not Kyle, but whoever is taking up Kyle's body that's about to go into the past to... How did they describe it? Not here. To the Nevada test site, I think is what we're going to experience in the next game. There's a third one. I don't know the title of that offhand. Actually, I can do that right now. Let me just pull this up. Zero Escape, Zero Time Dilemma. This is... Huh? Why? Okay, this is not what I was expecting. Okay. Interesting. My guess is we're probably going to be playing as this guy here, if anything. Don't really know what to think. Okay. I indeed do have all the trophies. I technically don't deserve it, but it's, who's to say that I don't just, if I get a silver file, if I reload a past save and then get the gold file, just doing something else. It's fun, I guess, you know, to experience it the way that I want to. Oh well, I thought that's what was going to happen, but I don't know. I didn't get a proper, like, final credits is the issue. And that's what makes me, like, scared to end this, really. Let me just see, because I feel like there should be more, but I also feel like it should be the end. If I save 60-ish hours. What happens if I quit? Yes. Start from beginning. Continue. I would just continue from that. I honestly have no idea anymore. Let me just see. 2 endings occurring after the true ending, one of which is non-canon. When an ending is completed, the portrait of the photo appears. Yep, character endings. Okay, skip all the way through the character endings. I don't need that. I think I've pretty much got it. But I thought that we were going to, get, like, a true ending. Maybe if I go to the Reddit. Okay, because a lot of people are just, like, asking the same questions I am, I think this is, like, the end of this game. If not, let me know in the comments, or I'll probably see it on someone else's channel once they finally get around to doing it. But I think this is the end of this, and I don't know if this has any connection to the next game. I don't want to look anything up for that. But from this game to the next Zero Escape, Time Dilemma or something, whatever it is, I'm actually going to be taking a break myself from in between. So whether that has any weight to the next game, who knows if the characters have any relation to it or if they interact with anyone from the new cast or whatever. I'm leaving it here. I got to do other stuff. So thank you so much for coming out to see Zero Escape Virtue's Last Reward. Thank you so much. In the meantime, I'll leave you with one final message as a final goodbye. In that being, have a nice day. Hi again. I know that I ended the episode technically. I just wanted to put my last thoughts out there. I did really enjoy the game. I don't think I don't think it actually did take the place of 999. Just for me personally, it felt like it was almost too open-ended, in that being just to set up for the next game. I do like the succinctness and the ending that there was for 999, and I do maybe appreciate what could be the setup for Zero Time Dilemma, in which after the fact, after I close the game and everything, and that's why I'm adding this in, this is probably Sigma and this is probably Phi. I see the pin on her shirt and the white hair and, you know, blue hair and the tight shirt and everything for this character. I don't know if anyone else from this cast is somehow connected. But I just wanted to put my last thoughts out there. I did really enjoy the game. I liked the puzzles. Again, there was some BS for some of them that I felt like could have been done a little bit better. But at the end of the day, it's just a puzzle that wasn't really the main story of the game, so who can really care about that? That being said, I really liked it. I'm just waiting for the next one, in which Zero Time Dilemma is going to be the ending Probably. I think it's the ending. I don't think there are any more. That being said, finally, have a nice day.